I've been using this setup for my roast engine now for about 6 months, and I ran into a couple issues. The main issue being size. I had a couple of instances where I almost, hit the system here and, caused it to crash. So I need to make some longer rails. These rails are about less than 2 foot long. I'm going to make some much longer rails this way and also this way. So I'm making a much bigger table. Using different clamp to clamp on the stepper motor, because these were a little bit hard to set up. They're a little bit too small, so I got some bigger ones I'll be using. And I'm also going to be making this a little bit larger so it's more stable, and improving the pieces that ride on the screw here to make it a little more accurate. So trying to improve accuracy, and also I need to create some more room. I have 3 different tools now I use. My spindle motor, I have this ram system, and then my cutter here. So I need some place to store these. So I'll probably create some tables underneath so I can store these. Maybe even bring this out a little bit here so I can put a table underneath here and store some stuff down there. So just creating a lot more room. So let me start disassembling this, and I'll build a new system and bring it in. This is a new enlarged table for my rose machine, which I'm in the middle of constructing right now. It's quite a bit bigger. This table is 38 inches long by 32 inches wide, and the rails are each 32 inches long. The previous rails were only like 24 inches long, so it's quite a bit longer than the previous one. I'm making a couple additional changes. First of all, I bolted the rails to the table rather than use some adjustment screws. That way they're perfectly aligned, they're perfectly square with one another, so that the additional rail will slide easily across both rails. In the previous version of this table, I used these adjustment knobs to adjust the tension on my ball screw, but now instead of using this, I'm using 2 separate pieces, and these I can adjust. I have, these 2 are fixed in position. These 2 are on a sliding mechanism, so I can adjust it to get it perfectly tight to eliminate any backlash. So this is I think it's much better than using this system. Should be more accurate, and I have more surface area in my screw system to enable the accurate adjustment of these. So I got these set, and I can adjust it to give me the right tension. And as soon as I get it adjusted, then I tighten these up. And now that's perfectly aligned. It's nice and smooth. There's no backlash at all in this screw. I made these mounting plates to join the bottom rails to the top rails, both wider and longer than the mounting plates in my previous version. In addition, I used 6 roller bearings on each of these mounting plates, 3 on each side. In the previous version, I only used 4 roller bearings. These larger mounting plates with the additional roller bearings should make the system more stable and more accurate. This can be installed in my system here. Here I'm threading a long lead screw into the threaded blocks on the bottom of the mounting plate. To speed up the process, I used a drill to rapidly move the mounting plate. I then inserted one end of the lead screw into the left plate with a roller bearing and a locking collar. Next, I added an additional locking collar and roller bearing to the right end of the lead screw, inserted this end into the right end plate, then attached this end plate to the bottom rail using 4 screws. The other thing I'm doing, I'm using larger couplers. These ones I've used previously, I think they're a little too small. These are much bigger and should do a much better job of holding it in place. Here I'm readjusting the nut blocks on the mounting plate to make sure the lead screw turns smoothly with no backlash. I loosen the 2 screws holding the left nut block, slide it left or right to get some tension on the movement of the lead screw, and then retighten the 2 screws to fix the nut block in place. If the lead screw is still too tight or too loose, I repeat this process until I get free movement of the lead screw with no backlash. I next attach the top linear rail to the 2 mounting plates. I had added 4 mounting clips to each of the mounting plates, and the top rail just slides onto these clips. After it was set to its proper location, I then used an Allen wrench to tighten these clips on the mounting plate to fix its position. Sorry, but I lost the video of this installation of the top rail. I machined a larger mounting plate for the top rail. Later, the AXA tool post will be mounted to this plate for the attachment of the various tools I'll be using for my cutting operation. This top mounting plate is significantly larger than the mounting plate used in the previous system. Again, I use 6 roller bearings instead of the 4 used in the previous system, and once again I'm using the dual nut blocks to minimize any backlash in the system. I then installed a mounting plate under the top rail and then added the lead screw I was shown previously. This table assembly is then ready to install into the Rose machine. This is a complete rebuild of my Automated Rose machine. I made quite a few changes to the system in order to make it much larger, more versatile, to make it more stable, and also to add several new features. The rails for the system are now 32 inches long. The previous rails were only 18 inches long, and on several occasions I almost crashed the system, so the rails definitely needed to be made larger. In addition, I bolted the base 2 rails to the table. Previously I had used some adjustable clips to fasten these base rails to the table. These clips are difficult to set up and align. Using the bolts, I was able to securely fasten the bottom 2 rails to the table and align these 2 rails so they are perfectly parallel to one another. This will ensure the top rail will ride evenly and smoothly on these rails. The 2 plates that join the bottom rails to the top rails were made larger. In addition, I used 6 roller bearings on each of these plates. The previous plates were much smaller and only used 4 roller bearings. Therefore, these larger plates will be stronger and sturdier. The top plate onto which the AXA tool post mount was also made significantly larger than the previous plate, and I also used 6 roller bearings on this plate. This will provide for increased stability of any tool which I mount to this AXA tool post. I also scribed 2 perpendicular lines into the top of this plate, which will be used to set and align this tool post. The Acme threaded nut blocks ride on an 8mm Acme threaded lead screws to drive the top linear rail and also the AXA tool post to the required position. I replaced the single nut blocks that were used in the previous system with a dual nut block design for all the mounting plates. These dual nut blocks eliminate most if not all of the backlash for these linear drives and make the system more accurate and more stable. These were described in more detail previously in this video. I once again used the closed loop stepper motors for this system. These closed loop stepper motors are more accurate than the open loop stepper motors. I replaced the couplers that join the stepper motor to the linear screws with some larger couplers. These larger couplers are just larger than the previous system and provide for a more positive coupling of the 2 shafts. I also redesigned the display case that contains the Nextion display. This new display case is slightly larger than the previous case, but I also added a cooling fan onto the side of the case and an exhaust fan on the opposite side of the display case. This just provides for ventilation and cooling of the Nextion display panel in this case, and hopefully this extends its life. For most of my cutting operations, I'll be using the spindle motor. I also redesigned the case for the spindle motor to make it smaller, and I positioned it right behind the Nextion display on the front of the Rose engine. This provides for faster and easier control of the spindle motor. In addition to the spindle motor for using the various cutting tools, I also have 2 other motors and cutting tools for use with the Rose machine. In the previous design of the Rose machine, these motors were just set on top of the table and often needed to be moved for a particular cutting operation. I wanted to get these systems off the top of the table to eliminate any clutter, especially when they're not being used. As a result, I added a shelf under the main table on the far right side of the Rose machine. This shelf is just used to house the 2 controllers and motors until they are needed for a particular project. When they're needed, I just move them to the top of the table. In addition, I added 2 shelves under the front lip of the Rose engine. These 2 shelves are just used for the storage of the most commonly used tools and accessories for the Rose machine. This just eliminates the clutter from the top surface of the Rose engine table. I also added a few hooks on the edges of these tables for the hanging of some tools such as rulers, cleaning brushes, and a putty knife. I designed and 3D printed out some tool holders for the various cutting tools for the rotary tools and the spindle motors. I added all my cutting tools to these small blocks, and I'll store these under the front edge of the front table for easy access. Here is a brief description of my dust collection system. I have designed several dust collection hoods for my Rose machine, which were described in a previous video. This is my latest version, which contains a slide to block off the system when not in use. I created a bracket to position the hose for the dust collection system so that it goes over top of the far linear rail and stepper motor. This enables the Z-axis system with tools to travel a full distance to the left and not have any interference with the vacuum hose. The hose from the dust collection hood goes to a dust separator. This captured most of the sawdust generated by the system into a large trash can. A second hose from this dust separator then goes to an exhaust fan, which is located up in the rafters in my shop. From this exhaust fan, the exhaust is vented to the outside of the building. This concludes this video on the redesign of my new Automated Rose machine. These new changes definitely make the system much larger, more versatile, and will make it much easier to use in the future. Once again, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, leave your comments in the description below or send us an email. And thank you once again for watching.